So on to the next set of silks, Nico. Now these are very famous colours in the UK and in Ireland. Joe Donnelly, known probably best for Shishkin.
Yes.
You've had a long establishment with Shishkin over the years. Rode him in his bumper at Kempton. Actually, Nicky tells a good story that Joe Donnelly, he won the Gold Cup in these colours with Alboon Photo, and the very next day he had a bumper runner called Shishkin. He was amazed that he was there to watch Shishkin, but he knew that this horse was going to be an amazing horse, and so it's proved. What are your memories of that day at Kempton, and then moving on to the championship races the following years?
Kempton, I remember my only danger was one of Paul Nichols's, and I think we just popped along together. And anyway, the next time I looked round, we were 15 lengths clear or whatever we were, and then we didn't see him again until the following season. So that was it.
Can you tell when you're riding a really good bumper horse? I mean, obviously they've got to jump the hurdles, but he's going to make a good novice because he's got the engine. I mean, it's easy to tell, can you, from an average bumper horse to a good bumper horse?
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, particularly how they go through the line at the end, rather than you can when you're on a superstar, really.
And so from that moment, I guess you're really looking forward to having a pop over hurdles in a race.
I was, yeah, very much. And then, in actual fact, the first time I rode him over hurdles, I managed to fall at the first down the back, which was the second hurdle at Newbury, in a sort of 25-20 runner race. And yeah, everyone came over the top of me, and luckily I was unscathed, and so was the horse. So, and then we went back to Newbury and tried again.
I remember talking to Nicky after that fall, actually, and he was desperate to get another run in because obviously he works back from Cheltenham, as many of his horses do, and he just needed to get a run into him, and so that run, I suppose you're all hoping, get round safely, show a bit of speed, move on.
Exactly, and that was very straightforward. And then we went to the Sydney Banks at Huntingdon, which was 2-3, and again, he was very straightforward there and very good, and yeah, it set him up nicely to go for a crack at the Supreme.
Now the Supreme was an amazing race. He drifted in the morning. I think the ground was a factor. People thought maybe he wouldn't like the ground. I don't know what you thought about that. And then in the race itself, another one fell almost in front of you, and you were out of position. And I actually still can't believe you got up and won that race. Abracadabra, I think you beat on the line. That was an amazing ride, but also very brave of the horse.
Very much so. He got me out of a lot of trouble that day. It was at the second last, coming down the hill, and knocked 2 or 3 of us way out to the outside wing. And it's because you're on the old course there. It's very sharp, that track, and you don't want to lose too much ground out wide. And he managed to come and seemingly jump the last, and kept finding all the way to the line, and just got back up. And Davy Russell was on the other horse, and we only just won by a nose or whatever it was, and it went down to a photo, and luckily it went our way. But if it hadn't have been for that, then you would have thought that he'd win by a lot further. But no, again, that was a great day.
Then next season, novice chasing, obviously very successful, winning again at the Cheltenham Festival, the Arkle. I mean, that was a procession, if I remember rightly. He won that very easily. Yeah,
when he was a sort of young novice chaser, he was a very straightforward ride, really. You could ride him any which way you wanted. I remember in the Lightning novice chase at Doncaster, again, he went through the race incredibly easily, and you almost didn't have to touch him. You just left him alone and let him jump, and then to the Arkle again, and he's a very short price favourite, I think, and straightforward, good days.
Shishkin, easy as he likes. He's hard on the bridle here with Nico de Boinville. Shishkin has won the Sporting Life Arkle in magnificent style.
And not so straightforward at the moment, but he's one of your favourites, isn't he? I know you look forward to riding him and seeing him as well.
Yeah, he definitely takes a bit of knowing now. He's got his own way of doing things. The way he came out and won the bowl last year, I was really impressed with, and how he beat Ahoy Senor, and he was very brave after the last, and again, but I mean, if we're going back to one of my favourite memories with him, it was the Clarence House Chase.
Yes.
And it was a sort of match race between Energumene and him. They were both undefeated at the time, and it was incredibly. Again, we'd just come out of COVID, really, and it was just the first time I think Ascot had really opened their gates up, and they had a full house there, and Bassie was riding first flow to add another one in the mix, and I think all of us, when we were going round Swinley Bottom, we're thinking we had never been so fast in our lives. To jump down that hill at Ascot, they're big fences, and we were really trapping. And again, turning in, I thought Energumene had flown, and I was booked for second, really, and I'd half just thought, I'll just leave you to it and come home in your own time. But in actual fact, he managed to grab a hold of the bridle, and off he went over the last, and I pulled him a bit wider just to see if I could get a nice sort of run. And sometimes the ground can be a bit better out that way, but particularly when it's sort of soft to heavy. And and the pair of those horses, it was one of those races where even if you did come second, you knew that you had been part of a fantastic horse race, and it was one that I think all of us who rode in it will definitely always remember.
I think people forget how brave Shishkin's been in his career. He's had many tough races, and he's for the most part, he's been there and he's done it.
Exactly. He's had some races where he's had to really, really fight and battle, and right now, honestly, he doesn't owe us anything, really. So anything he does do is a big bonus, and again, he's a horse who I hold close to my heart. Whatever he does do is a bonus right now.